Dr. Smriti, how many students will be joining, like around about? How many of them are enrolled?
Actually, total 41 students are enrolled in this
Okay,
program,
all right.
and out of 41, more than 50 percent attend this counseling,
Okay.
and it may depend.
Ah, of course. Okay.
Like, okay, the recording started.
Yes, yes. I've started with the recording.
Okay, so I think now we can start.
Right.
Okay. I just first I want to thank Dr. Tanima Datta. She accepted to become your academic counselor for this rapid program and project of Government of India, and she's already taking academic counseling for our national students of MBA online, and she has done. I mean, she has done a lot of work in research and development in the field of economics and statistics as well. And she has more than 22 years experience of teaching as a faculty in various colleges. Right now, she is in Batinda Lovely Professional University, and she'll take your academic counseling and she'll present for MMPC 005, which is quantitative analysis. So now you can, I request Dr. Tanima Datta, you can start, and if you want, you can have an introduction also to the
Right.
learners.
Right. Thank you. Thank you so much, Dr. Smriti, for your kind words. And so it's hello to everyone from India, and I'm from lovely professional university, and I'm an associate professor of economics over here, and I've been teaching. I've been serving this university for the past 4.5 years. Before that, I was at Bhopal, that's Madhya Pradesh, from where I belong, and I have been writing a few research papers. Like I have around about 35 research papers to my name, a couple of books, and yes, I've been trying to do some research work, and I have been using the statistics extensively, and a lot of statistical softwares like SPSS is there, Stata is there, R is there, eViews. Started working on SAS as well recently. So I'm still rusty with SAS, but yeah, I've been using the other softwares. So it's an honor and a privilege to be acting as an academic counselor for this esteemed program by the government of India, and where I'll be talking to people from all over the world. Mainly, I see people representing the continent of Africa over here, and back here in my university, I've got a lot of students from your part of the world. So I feel very comfortable and at home with all of you here from various countries. Now, I'll be starting off with my presentation. My only request is that kindly ask questions as much as you can, because these are counseling sessions where we cannot teach you each and every topic, but of course we can guide you. And anywhere you're facing a problem, kindly let me know, and we can try to solve those issues over here. So with those words, let me start off with my presentation. And so, and as I will be going for a full screen mode, I'm like right now, I'm not able to see that screen where you people are. So if anybody has any issues, kindly unmute yourself and go ahead with the questions. Otherwise, if you're typing anything, I won't be able to see that. That is something that Google Meet doesn't have. So I can't see you there. So kindly, that's a request from my side. So we are starting off with the first session of MMPC 005, which is Quantitative Analysis for Management Applications. And one more thing before I start, I speak a bit fast, so you have to somewhere adjust with myself. That's an issue with me again. Can't speak slow. Uh, so Here I am working with Mittal School of Business, lovely professional university. And like, if we are talking about this, if we talk about the lecture outcomes, what we are going to see here is we will be talking about the basics of statistics, and we'll try to come to the measures of central tendency and see how it works before the classification. Like, we'll be looking at the classification, the tabulation of the data as well a bit. So, H.G. Wells said that statistical thinking will one day be as necessary for efficient citizenship as the ability to read and write. So, according to H.G. Wells, it's as good as, like, statistics is as important as your writing and reading, because if you do not know data, if you're not using data, and when I use the word data, I am being uh, indiscriminate between quantitative data and qualitative data. So it's just not about the numbers. It's about everything. Everything that is there is a data, is a point of data for all of us. It's a point of information. And if you're not aware of it, if you do not know how to read it, if you do not know how to interpret it and analyze it, in the modern world, it becomes difficult for professionals, because I believe that all of you are professionals working in different fields. So that becomes an issue when you are in the real world. So if we talk about the definitions of statistics, so this is the first. On your screens, you have these two gentlemen, Yule and Kandal, and they said that by statistics, we mean quantitative data affected to a marked extent by multiplicity of causes. So here they talked about quantitative data. So here, when Yule and Kandal are talking about, they are just talking about quantitative data. That means something that can be measured in terms of quantity. So you can be talking about it in terms of numbers. So say supposingly the number of students present for these counseling sessions, that's quantitative data. Uh, like what I have been told, that there are a lot of students from Kenya and other parts of Africa. Now, like, if you are collecting the data, like how much of food grains are you importing right now? Because the Ukraine-Russia war has had a very bad negative impact on the food availability in the African continent. So how much wheat you are importing, how much money foreign exchange is going out of the country, how much is being spent on developmental plans. Now there are different issues. If you're working in a corporate, you have people like, if you're in the HR department, you have got this HR information system. So you have how many people are working from you, how many, like, what's the salary scale looking like, what is how many people are taking a leave, how many people are at what levels of the organization. You might have qualitative data regarding their what their approach is towards the work, what the feedback that they are giving. So you have got so much of data around you. Like, in your personal life, again, you have got so much of data that if I just ask you to enumerate what you did since morning, early morning, and you'll be talking to me a lot in terms of data, because at what time you got up, when did you have your lunch or your food, at what time did you go for your office or college or your business or whatever you people do for yourselves. And then that is again data which we are using, the numbers that we are using. Now when we talk about the branches of statistics, basically we have got basically these two branches of statistics. One is mathematical statistics and the other is applied statistics. Now uh, mathematical economics is mathematical statistics is basically uh, the 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 um, the formulas, the derivatives, how you find out things. A simple average. Farida, I hope you are admitting the person who is knocking on the door.
Yes, I am.
Okay, thank you. And Farida, may I ask you, is it okay so far?
Yes,
Am I making sense?
yes, it is. It is.
Okay, great. Thank you. Thank you. All right. I was talking about mathematical statistics. So mathematical statistics is more about the concepts. It's about how, like, whatever you are studying in the books that you are reading, that is basically mathematical statistics, because how the formulas have been derived. So even if we are talking about a simple average, which is just what? It's the total divided by the n, by the number of observations that you have. Now, there is a derivative for it, that somebody came out with that formula That formula was based on certain experiments that were done, some empirical studies that were conducted, and from there, so you have a derivation of all of them. If you're like using statistics a bit and you've heard the terms like correlation and regression, then again you have the derivatives for them. That okay, you use calculus for deriving those formulas, and whatever development is taking place in the evolution of the subject or the development of the subject. Now that is mathematical statistics. The application part is what you and I are more concerned with. Like I, as an economist, am more concerned with the applied part of it rather than the mathematical. Of course, in economics, there are people who are working on the conceptual parts as well. Like they are developing various, like they are coming out with a lot of new ways and new methodologies and stuff. So they are working on mathematical statistics. Most of the academicians like me, we are more into the applied part of it, that where we are taking a lot of various tools of statistics, and then we are applying it to the various areas. You have got uh, there are different areas of work, like mm, I want to know, I want to have a feedback of this program. So I float a questionnaire and I ask you people about that. I just ask you various questions. I ask you a set of 20 questions to get a feedback from you. Now, the feedback that you will be giving, that has to be compiled in certain manner. So that has to be like the data collection will take place, the tabulation will take place, some data cleaning will take place, and then from there I can draw percentages, I can draw averages, I can find out some relationship, and then I can always go to the head office of IGNOU. I can go to Dr. Smriti and I can go to the higher officials and I can show it to them and tell them that, look, this is the subject that I taught and this is the feedback that I've got on the basis of the data. So that is applied statistics that we are talking about. Now, if we talk about statistical methods, then there are two branches to it. One is the descriptive statistics part, and one is the inferential statistics part. Now, in the descriptive statistics part, what we do, we are talking about procedures which are used to summarize and describe the characteristics of a set of data. Okay, let me come out of this and let me come here and let me speak to a few people.
Ma'am, can you come again, please? Not the mathematical statistics, the other one.
The applied statistics. Okay, so Mohammed,
Yes.
about the applied statistics, what we are talking about, we are talking about the application of the statistics. That means we are talking about how you can apply, like you're taking a few tools of statistics and then you are taking a real life problem, which, and you're either, like you can take a problem or you can take a concept. You may explore that field or you may try to find out some solution to a problem for which you require which requires the use of some statistical tools. So that is basically what applied statistics is. Mohammed, you're from which country?
I'm from Nigeria.
Okay, and what do you do?
I'm a M&E assistant,
You are a which assistant?
monitoring and evaluation assistant.
Okay, so what does your work basically entail?
It's directly related to data collection and data analysis.
Okay, so what are you doing? Are you helping in the evolution of statistical tools, or are you applying the statistical tools?
So I'm working with the non-profits. Normally, we go to the targeted areas and do beneficiary profiling, and later analyze what we took there and do this distribution at times and go for either post-distribution monitoring or even some service.
So this is applied statistics that you're doing. You're using applied
Okay,
statistics, right?
that's me. That's the main reason why I asked again.
Okay, all right. So that's applied statistics. Now, that's the reason I wanted to just, I came out of my presentation because I wanted to have a chat with you people. Now, I was talking to you, like coming back to my presentation, if I talk about, I was talking to you about descriptive statistics. Now, if I may ask, whom should I be speaking to? There's a very lovely lady I saw here earlier. Grace, if I may ask you, you're from
Yes,
which country? Yeah, Grace, you're from which country?
I'm from Zambia, ma'am.
And what do you do, Grace?
Well, I work in a marketing department. I'm under customer experience, and we just try to make our customers' lives a whole lot brighter, ensuring that the products are tailor-made for them and we address their issues. And we predominantly use the customer relationship management tool to, get data, try to understand the pain points through analytics of what customers are feeding back into us.
So you
Primarily.
are using a scaled questionnaire, if I'm not mistaken. You are you ask them that how was your experience? Good, better, good, very
Correct.
good, not so good. Are
Correct.
you? So you are using a 5-point scale?
We are using well, sometimes we use the NPS, the Net Promoter Score, and the
All
CASAT.
right.
Yes. Yeah,
Mm, mm, mm.
true.
All right.
So basically,
Okay,
yeah, the
great.
qualitative
Okay.
part as well.
Huh. All right, fine. Okay, fair. So now I do have an understanding of what you people are doing most. Just by talking to two people, now that's a very bad sample size, so to speak. But okay, but it's still I get I get some idea about it. Now, if I talk about descriptive statistics, I spoke to two people, Mohammed and Grace, and they are doing a lot of they are using a lot of descriptive statistics, knowingly or unknowingly. Because if I ask Grace that what income profile of people come to her shop, I suppose, Grace, you'll be able to tell me that.
Yes.
Right. So what are you doing? Are you describing the data or are you drawing inferences from the data?
I think both. We get a description, and then from what we gather, we get an inference. Yeah.
Okay, cool. Yep. So basically, the first part, very correct. The first part that when we are talking about, so it's just we are describing the features or the attributes of a data, the characteristics of a data, that you have things like whenever you use these research instruments, which are very popularly known as questionnaires or surveys, uh, you have a lot of information initially where you are asking about the name of the person, the age, the gender, the place from where they are coming. That there's a brief profiling happening, a bioprofiling happening of the people to whom you are speaking. Generally, the name doesn't matter because that's just for your sake. That's just an identification for you. But otherwise, in a research, the name doesn't matter until and unless you're doing a research on the names of people. Otherwise, it won't matter. So you then but yes, age matters, like again, in both in Muhammad's case as well as in Grace's case, the age profiling is very, very important because both of them are working on the demographics. That when Grace says that we are tailor customizing our product, or it's tailor made, so that means your age plays a very, very distinctive part in that. So stuff like that, this is known as descriptive statistics. You use your measures of central tendency, you use your measures of dispersion for that. So these are basically descriptive statistic tools that we use. So your mean, median, mode, quartile, decile, percentile, or range, mean deviation, quartile deviation, skewness, kurtosis, standard deviation, coefficient of variation, variance. These are all tools. These are all descriptive tools that you're using. Min max. These are all tools of descriptive statistics. Inferential statistics, on the other hand, is when you are trying to draw inferences from it. So generally, you are taking a sample study you are doing, and from that you are drawing inferences. So, like again, the profiling of income or the profiling of age plays a very, very major role in what Grace and Muhammad are doing. because for them the income profile of the person matters a lot. For them the age profile matters a lot. So you know that, okay, this is how it works, that if I have somebody young, their needs will be much different from somebody who is in the late 40s. And is there a similarity between people who are in their early 20s and people who are in the late 60s? If we talk about the income profiling, that people who are earning, say, less than $5,000, somebody who's earning more than $50,000, of course, the things will differ there. So what inferences are you drawing? What conclusions are you drawing from it? So that is inferential statistics. Then we come to data, and that is what everything is about. So now the question is that from where do you get the data? So now let me speak to a few more people and let me see what they are doing. So you have the first name that I see is Kamis. Now, Kamis, hi. May I know what you are doing and from which country you are? I just,
Hello,
yes.
Prof. Good morning.
Yep.
Because yeah, it's good morning. I don't know your time yet, so I am by name Mohammed.
No, it's okay. It's an afternoon. It's an afternoon for me and it's a morning for you. So okay, fine. Yeah. May I know the country from where
Yeah,
you are?
I was a teacher before and also supervisor in from Nigeria. Can you hear
Okay.
me? I am
All
from
right. So
Nigeria.
right now, what are you
Yeah,
doing?
yeah.
And currently, what are you doing? Are you still teaching?
Right now I am into business.
Are you still teaching, Kamis?
I am currently into business.
Okay, great. And okay, great. Okay, right.
No,
Thank
I
you,
am not.
Vasant.
I'm
Mm,
currently into business.
Yes, hello, ma'am.
okay. Yeah, Vasant, you are using two instruments, so you need to mute the other one.
Yeah, mine is muted. I think.
Vasant, you
Okay, okay.
you need to mute the other one. Otherwise, there'll be a lot of noise.
Okay, can
Yeah.
you hear me
Yeah.
now?
Yeah. Yes.
Okay,
Yeah. It's
sorry
okay.
about the
Please. Yeah.
interference. Yes, hello,
No. No.
ma'am.
It's okay.
I'm Vasant from
Yeah. Hi.
Mauritius,
All
and
right.
I'm a
And what do you do,
teacher
Vasant?
in primary
You're a teacher in
primary
primary.
school. Primary school, yeah,
Okay.
yeah, grade 1 till
Okay.
grade 6. First, so yeah.
And Vasant, if I want to do a study on the students of Mauritius, from where do I get the data?
You have here we have the Statistical Bureau.
All
It's
right.
called Mauritius Bureau of Statistics.
All
And
right.
I've myself participated into surveys, not specifically for education, but for the population, the standards of living and things like this. Yeah, household.
All right.
Yeah.
Okay. So fine. Thank you. Thank you. Thank you, Kamis, and thank you, Vasant. And so
Hello,
yes.
when you made mention of inferential statistics, this thing came into my mind. Census. Census, is it like
Census?
involved?
Census?
Yes,
No, census is
census.
census study is collection of data. Census is collection of data. Now, what you do with that data is then that may be descriptive or inferential. Census is a way of collecting the data. It's a way of collecting the primary data. When you are including every variable of a population, then that is a census study.
Okay.
Right. Yes, Kamis, you want to say something? Okay,
Yes,
right.
I heard you saying that.
Fine.
So does that
Kamis, you
mean
want to
that
say
we
something?
have? Yes, can you hear me now?
Yeah, I can hear you. I can hear you. I can't hear you now. Kamis, I can't hear you. You need to unmute yourself.
Yeah, can you hear me?
Yes. Yeah, now I can hear you perfectly.
Oh,
Go
okay.
ahead.
I heard you saying primary data. Does that mean that we have another type of data?
We have primary data. Yes, there's
Okay,
primary data. There is secondary data. There are these.
Okay.
Yes. Yeah, and primary data is basically when you're collecting the data which is unpublished, where you are collecting the data straight from the sources. So that's a primary data, and you may use an interview, you may use questionnaire, you may use a schedule for collecting the data. So that's primary data. And secondary data is when you are taking some data which has already been published by some other sources, which has been collected and published by some other sources, which may be the government, like what Vasant said. Vasant talked about the Statistical Bureau of Mauritius that they have. In India, we have got different organizations, like we have got Ministry of Statistics and Planning Implementation, we have got the RBI, we have got other organizations which are publishing the data. So if I'm taking a data which has already been collected and published by some other sources, then that is known as secondary data. And primary data is when the researcher herself or himself goes out and collects the data, and maybe using different instruments for collecting the data. Kamis, have I answered your question?
Okay, bro, I don't know which. Yes, yes. I wanted to ask another question.
Yeah, which? Yes. Yeah, go ahead.
Can you hear me? Yeah. Between the two types of data,
Yeah, I can hear you. Go ahead.
said, primary data and secondary data. So if I wanted, if I wanted to make use of it, which one among them is the most efficient, most appropriate to give a positive result?
Okay. Now, it depends on the objective of your study, that what do you want to do? Like what the work that Grace is doing, there she has to use primary data, because she is dealing with the customers, and she cannot take some data which has been published by some other agency. So there she has to go for primary data. There's no other way. But say supposingly I am doing, I want to evaluate the education system in your country. Now there I can use both. I can use the secondary data of the ones that has been published by the government of your country, and I can have a look at various statistics, like say supposingly the number of students enrolled, the number of schools, the number of teachers, the student-teacher ratio, the number of girls, the number of boys, the number of pass-outs, the number of students leaving the schools. I can gather some data from there. I can take some data from the secondary sources, and then I can carry out a primary survey as well, taking a small sample, and I can then talk about whether what the secondary data is claiming, is that right or not. So I can do that. So there's no correct source of data. It depends on what you want to do. So what sort of study you are doing, or where you are working, depending on that, you use either a primary data or secondary data. Like in case of Muhammad, what work he is doing there, he has to go for primary data collection. But of course, if he wants to then talk in terms of his entire country, he will be using a lot of secondary data to substantiate what the claims are being made from the primary data, or vice versa. Yes, Kamis. Kamis, is it okay? Am I audible?
Yes, you are.
Okay. I suppose I've lost Kamis somewhere. Okay, all right. So, okay, he has left the meeting, and whenever he joins, we can continue from there. And so the question is that from where do you get the data? Like in India, we are having these are the some websites. These I have taken Indian examples. You can replace it with your own country's things, and you can talk now. There are two pictures here. Like this is the picture that you're seeing. This is basically the primary data where there is an enumerator here, and she's going out and she's collecting the data. So you can see that she's carrying a survey here, and she is a survey form, and she's filling certain details by talking to this lady here. So this is primary data that we were talking about, something that Grace is doing, something that Mohammed is doing, something that Vasant has done when he participated in different surveys. And then you have got these websites, these links. This is RBI, which happens to be the central bank of our country. You have got Ministry of Statistics and Program Implementation. It's like the Bureau of Statistics that he's talking about. We have got this is the Directorate of Economics and Statistics, the third link that you have got. So again, and these are all examples of secondary data. So that is the difference. Again, as I said, that it depends on the problem that you're trying to solve, or the organization where you're working. What are you doing? So it depends on that, and there's no right or wrong, or there's no good or bad in this. Now, when we are talking about methods of collecting the primary data, you have got a questionnaire, which all of you know about. So you have a set of questions, and then you go and ask people, and you do that. And then you've got personal interviews. Now, there are certain things where I want to do a selected study. I want to talk to just a few people. So then I can go for personal interviews, or say, supposingly, I want to talk to the heads of the organizations. So there I cannot use a questionnaire, because that seems very impersonal, and that might not serve my purpose, because when I go for personal interviews, of course I have got a set of questions which I'm taking, but then there are a lot of open-ended questions, or there can be a lot of sub questions while we are discussing. So that is one thing. Second is that there are certain issues which are taboo, which are taboo like in the environment where people are staying, or they might be a bit touchy. So you can, and or people are not wanting to open up about them. So then again, it's always better to go for personal interviews. Example, like if you're wanting to collect data on drug addicts. Now, if I want to go, I don't think so that people will come out in the open, and you can do a Google, like you cannot have a Google form and ask people to fill that question if you are wanting to talk to drug addicts. So then you use the snowballing technique. You find out people from somebody will give a reference to somebody, and from there you'll get a reference of 5 more people, and then you go and do a personal interview there. So it depends on what purpose you are trying to find out. Then when you have made like when you have your questionnaire with you, you have to do a lot of content validity is there, or face validity, what we call it, is there. There is criteria validity, something called criteria validity as well. Now again, let me get back to Grace. Grace and Mohammed. Mohammed, the questionnaire that you people, like you are going on the field, you take with you a questionnaire or a schedule. What do you take with you?
Yes, initially we do draft some surveys or questionnaire on a paper, but because due to technology, now we use our tablets.
Okay. So,
We use
but again, in your tablets, you have the questionnaire, isn't it?
yes, we have questionnaire. We directly upload them on the server.
Okay. So now the questionnaire that you are preparing, who prepares it for you? Do you do it, or there is some central agency from where it comes? Does it come from the upper, like some other department? Who prepares that questionnaire?
We do prepare it.
You yourself are preparing it, Mohammed?
Yes, yes.
And do you people have a lot of discussions on it, and there are questions which are added and removed from the questionnaire?
For us, yes, we do use questionnaires, and we have a prior discussion as to what we are looking for, as a team, and then we call in the data analyst who then helps us professionally input questions to drive or derive what we're looking for.
So that means that that data analyst that who is coming is an expert in the field.
Yes. So we use an in-house one and we use an external one.
All right. So what you are doing is basically content validity. That is what content validity is.
Something like that. Yes, ma'am.
That is that is exactly content validity. What you are saying is exactly what the procedure of content validity is, because you have prepared a questionnaire, you have a set of questions which after your discussions and everything, but then you take it to an expert and then get a feedback on it, that is it fine for us to go ahead with this questionnaire, or should we be bringing about changes in that? And I suppose that's the same with Muhammad, in case of Muhammad as well.
Yes, ma'am. Come again. I encountered network problem.
Okay, no issues. I was saying that the questionnaire that you prepare, you people discuss it a lot and then you reach to the final draft.
Yes.
And do you get it vetted by some expert?
No. It's in-house.
It's in-house. So in-house there are no experts?
No, I have superiors in our department. We have M&E advisor, we have M&E team lead, we have the manager. So they do it within themselves. So basically,
okay. So of course, it's not necessary that you get an expert from outside, but in-house also, like there is somebody who goes through whatever you people are preparing, isn't it?
yes.
All right. So that is basically what content validity is all about. So that is what I was talking to you, that this is known as content validity or face validity, right? Mohammed, do you do a pilot study before doing it, or straight away you go and collect the data? Okay, again, I suppose he's facing some issues. Grace, you people do a pilot, or you straight away go and collect the entire data?
There's a pilot. We always try to do a dry run before we can actually get, yeah.
And why do you do that dry run?
It's just to ensure whether what we have is what we're looking for, just to ensure that all the parameters are correct and we'll get the results that we are intending to get.
And that is what reliability test is.
Yes, please.
So that is in terms of statistics, we call it a reliability test. So you do a questionnaire or the dry run, as she says. That is what a reliability test is, and you have got a lot of tests to carry to do that reliability. Like in her case, because in case of Grace, she is using a scaled questionnaire. Most of the times, she is asking people in terms of, like, there are questions which are on the Likert scale. So in case of scaled questionnaire, you have a test called a Cronbach alpha test, and you can do that. So which I've used here. So when you are using a Likert scale question, Likert scale, we either we are using it or we have encountered it all the time. Like whenever you are buying something on Amazon, you are buying something on any of the e-commerce websites, or you are going to big malls to shop, and there are people out asking you for a feedback, and there is generally a scale there, or there are smileys out there, something like that. So so you do a pilot, on a few people, you run it and see that whether your instrument is working or not, whether the questionnaire that you have prepared, is it good to go, does it require some reframing, does it require certain changes. So but is it reliable, like what the data that you are asking for, does it serve your purpose? So you then go for this test called Cronbach alpha, which you can measure it this way. Not very much required. This is just for your information that you need to do that. Then you've got the sources of secondary data. So when you're talking about sources of secondary data, you've got published sources, and then you've got the unpublished sources. So published sources can be, as we spoke about, all the government organizations coming out with it. Then there are certain other agencies as well which collect a lot of data. Again, I can give you examples from my country. Like we have got an organization called ASER, ASER. That's an acronym for their organization, and they collect data on school education. So every year they publish some data on school education. That's a non-governmental organization, and they collect data, and then that data is used by a lot of researchers, a lot of journalists, a lot of other the policymakers to frame policies on education in India. So that's a published source. And then you've got unpublished sources as well. Say supposingly I have got students under me who are doing their PhD. So those kids, they are working and they are collecting a lot of data. And a part of their data, like they've collected some data, but then they have not used it, and somebody else requires it. So that's again, that becomes a secondary source of data for somebody else, and it's an unpublished source because it has not been published anywhere. So that's most of the time we take published data sources because that is something that is known to all of us. Unpublished sources are generally not known to us, so we don't take that. Then we come to collection of data and then classification on data. So now on the left-hand side of your screens, this picture that you're seeing here, this is just the collection of data. Now the issue is that it's a mixed bag. So you've got people, orange, purple, green, black, blue, all are there, and now what when as a data scientist, what I need is I want them to be put in certain boxes so that it's easy for me to identify and work on them. So this is a very heterogeneous set of data, and this is the raw data that I have collected, and then I have put them into stacks. And so this becomes my classification of the data. So I now know that there are 4 blue colored people, there are 4 orange people, 4 green people, 4 dark orange people. So I have got the largest number of black people. They are 8 in number. So this is, I've got 4 red, 4 purple. So I am, I'm from a heterogeneous group, I'm making a homogeneous group. So that is what the classification of data is. So there's this collection of data, and then there is a classification of data. So now the question is that why I am wanting to do that? Why do I need to classify my data? Why do I need to classify my data? Anybody can answer. Open to everyone.
When you classify, it becomes easier to analyze and get in the things that you need, because you have classes, and there you're also able to get sub items within those classes if you're looking for those as well.
Okay, and Chiplu Mutso, I suppose I've pronounced your name right.
Yes.
Okay, all right. And from where are you?
I'm from Malawi.
Okay, great. I had a student of mine from Malawi. He's working with the government of Malawi, named Richard, and so he was my student. So I know a bit about Malawi. So nice to have you. And what do you do?
I'm in marketing and customer relations, but mostly the marketing side. Yeah.
You are working for a conglomerate. You are working for a Malawi company. What are you?
I'm working for an international, conglomerate. It's Toyota Malawi. I work for Toyota Malawi. Our major shareholder is Toyota Motor Corporation.
Wow. Okay, so you are working for a big company. Now, you people, you are in marketing.
Yes.
You collect a lot of data. Yes. And what are you looking at? Of course, you are wanting to increase the sales of your company for your company, isn't it?
So it's twofold. The marketing side is we're correct. Normally, we collect, but also we've got it internally. So here, when I say internally, secondary data is that you're looking at the customers that you have. You classify them. Which categories do they belong to? Government, corporate,
and then on the basis of income as well, because you have got different cars and different income segment people buy different cars, different age people buy different set of cars. right?
That is true, but also the type of financing. Are they buying cash? Is it the organization paying, or are they getting bank finance? So plenty of things.
Yeah, so yep. So such a good example that he gave, Chipul Mutso. Okay. So I hope I'm getting everybody's name correct. Otherwise, that's a big letdown. Okay, so now again, like what he is doing, he is collecting a lot of data and classifying the data because in statistics, what happens is that when you're getting your data, and if there is a lot of heterogeneity there, generalization doesn't become possible. And the reason is that, like, what Chipul Mutso is doing, what Grace is doing, both of them are working in the customer care part, like they're in the marketing and the customers, where they're talking a lot to the customers there. Now, if they have got a heterogeneous set of data, they cannot generalize. Now, if you're talking about advertisement, again, if I can have both of you, is advertising based on heterogeneity, or is it based on homogeneity? Is advertisement based on heterogeneity, or is it based on homogeneity?
I would like to think that it depends on what you're trying to achieve. There are certain messages.
Your daughter is there with you?
Yes, okay.
Yeah. No issues. Let her be there. Let her also learn some statistics. Good. She's learning with Dada. Yeah, go ahead.
There are times when you want to target the mass. You're doing mass marketing, so mass advertising. So this is where I don't know. Yeah. Then there will be times where you want to do direct marketing. You want to identify and target people individually. So.
All right, Grace. What do you say?
Well, I'm not an expert, but I assume we do it for homogeneity, just trying to solicit whoever can use the product when there is advertisement.
Okay, fine. I am somebody who is not from marketing, so I am not an expert as well. But what I can, as a consumer, what I see from most of the advertisements are that there is always a customer segment which is targeted. So it is mass advertisement in the sense that it is going out to the masses, but there is a certain segment to which it is targeting. So if Mercedes doesn't do, and generally doesn't do an ad on televisions, you don't see a lot of ad of Mercedes on television, but you see a lot of print ads of Mercedes. And they do a lot of pseudo marketing, in the sense that they are you see a lot of like in a lot of movies and stuff, where you see their Mercedes being sold. Now, why are they not doing? Why are they not going out into the masses? Because there's a target. Everybody can't afford having a Merc. So it's only a certain segment which can have. On the other hand, you have a toothpaste, and there you are selling. But again, like in a toothpaste as well, there is a certain homogeneity, because to which, like, what is the USP of the product? So according to that, they are doing it. So you want people into homogeneous groups, otherwise that generalization is not possible. So we always go for homogeneity, and that's the reason that we go for classification of the data rather than going for a very heterogeneous, because as I said, any statistical exercise that you are doing is useless if the results cannot be generalized. If I do a study on students of Punjab, of India, and I come out with a result, and if I can't apply it to entire India, then my study is of no use. Now, to make my study applicable on entire India, I have to have certain classifications. Otherwise, it goes haywire. That means I'm not talking about anything in particular which doesn't make a lot of sense. So that's the reason that we say that you need that homogeneity of data. Okay, so for moving from here, we are talking about the classification, that how do you classify things. So you have got qualitative classification, you've got quantitative classification, you've got geographical classification, and then you've got chronological classification. So you can have qualitative, that means based on the attribute. So gender can be one attribute for you, which is qualitative in nature. Uh, Quantitative can be your age or your income. Geographic, of course, the location. When we are talking about geographical classification, it means the location. And then you're talking about chronological classification. That means you are looking at the time thing, and you're classifying that, okay, whoever the first 50 and then the next 50 and the next 50. So that becomes a chronological classification. So you're looking at the chronology of it, the numbering of it, the sequencing. That's the right term to use. Sequencing. When you're looking at the sequencing, then that becomes chronological in nature. Okay. Then comes the representation of the data, that how do you represent your data. Now, this is what you say, the visualization of the data. And then again, you have got such nowadays, you've got such good softwares that do this for you. Of course, the most basic is your Excel. You use Excel and you draw those various graphs. Again, now it depends that what sort of data do you have and what is your purpose, like what do you want to show. So on the basis of that, you take a bar diagram or a histogram or a line diagram or a polygon, frequency polygon, or an ogive, which is basically your cumulative frequency curve. So what are you talking about? Like, what do you actually want to show to the people? And the reason that you're doing the visualization of the data is because it looks pretty. It is very concise. Like if I want to show a lot of data, I can show it to you in an Excel sheet, or I can simply make a graph and I can show it to you pictorially, or like it's a visual. So visuals are always much more attractive than numbers, right? So again, people who are in the marketing field, they understand that. People who are in the data analysis field, you understand that. You use a lot of pie diagrams, you use a lot of bar diagrams, and now you have got softwares like Tableau. Tableau is a beautiful software for doing that. You have got a VOS viewer, again a software which is used for data visualization. You have got you have those word maps being formed. You have those word charts, trees being made. So these are the things through which graphical representation is possible. Okay, now okay, so here this is just an example of an ogive curve, which is basically your cumulative frequency curve. So that's a frequency polygon. Like if I'm just talking about the frequency, I've taken the shirt sizes here, and these are the frequencies that you have. I don't know in your country whether you people write it your shirt sizes like this, or you write it as XS, medium, large, XL, double XL, triple XL. Like in India, this is because we are, of course, most of you are also British, have been British colonies. So we use the British way of writing it. So it's more of, it's in inches that is there. So it's 26, 28, 30, 32, 34, 36. Now, these are the number of people who are using it. So the frequency is the number of people from different sizes. And then you've got a cumulative frequency, which basically is just the addition of it. So it's 10 plus 20, 10 plus 15, it's 25, then plus 18, 43, plus 10, 20, 63. Then you've got 85, and then 110. So you went to 110 people, asked their shirt sizes, and you made a group out of that. So each group is a homogeneous group. 26 is a homogeneous group, 28 is a homogeneous group. And then I can make a frequency polygon, and then I can make a ogive. So ogive will just plot the cumulative frequency, and that is how you get it, right? So okay, so we are 1 hour through in this lecture. Kindly come out with your questions. Sorry. Kindly come out with your questions.
Greetings, madam.
Yes, hi, Francis.
Yeah, so of course, I heard you explain clearly on heterogeneous and on homogeneous. Yeah, but are there situations where you find that heterogeneous becomes more useful in data analysis? Yeah, of course, also on like of course, what you explained where you just want to see how best maybe you can have your data separated from the rest so that at least you have a clearer understanding of your possibly your marketing strategy that you can maybe embark on. I'm not in marketing myself. I'm actually into IT consultants. So I'm trying to, the reason why I joined this program is because I know I'm embarking on a project of my own. So I want to get as much knowledge as I can. Now, I'm just trying to find out if at all maybe there are possibilities where you find that maybe the heterogeneous way of having your data separated can become useful for your works.
So you are saying, basically you're asking that uh, which situation is heterogeneity better than homogeneity? Is it what you're asking?
Exactly, madam.
All right. Francis, statistics says that do not have heterogeneity, because it says that if you are because when you're collecting the data, that data is heterogeneous. That is the raw data that you have. So it doesn't have any homogeneity. You are collecting it from like a number of people, and you are collecting the data of all types. But if you want to reach to a meaningful conclusion, you need to classify the data. So the classification or homogeneity of the data is a must for running statistical tools. Otherwise, you cannot run statistics, because when you go ahead and apply the tools, there are a lot of assumptions that are being made. And basically, what you are doing is you are collecting a sample, and you are the reason you are collecting a sample and you are not doing a census study is because you want to take a small part of the population, which is a representative of the entire population. So when you are wanting that representation, you go for heterogeneity, but then after you have collected the data, you make them into groups, you classify them into groups, and then you talk about each group amongst that. And then of course you have got various tests to see that what is the difference within the group and what are the differences between the groups. That you can always do that. You have got a tool called ANOVA, analysis of variance, which is like the short is ANOVA. So you have those tools to do that, but statistics always say that you need to classify your data. So it's always homogeneity which wins over heterogeneity. So you have to have a heterogeneous data, that is for sure. But then you take your heterogeneous data, make classes, you make various groups into that, groups and subgroups, and then you talk about each group and about each subgroup. You combine them again. At the end, you again combine them, and then you talk about the total population, and that is how it works. Francis, did I make any sense?
Very clear, madam. Thank you very much.
Francis, you're from which country?
I'm from Zambia, together with my sister there, Grace Kalunga.
Okay, all right. So good to see you people here.
Thank you,
Right.
madam.
Yep. Any other questions? Anybody with any questions? I hope I'm making sense so far. Any questions? Any questions? Anybody with any questions? All right, fine. Okay, let me move ahead. Now we come to descriptive statistics. When we talk about descriptive statistics, we have got your variabilities, and you have, like, descriptive statistics has got two parts. One is measures of central tendency, and the other is measure of variability or measures of dispersion, as I said. Now, in central tendency, you've got mean, mode, median, And similar to median, you have got quartiles, deciles, percentiles. Then you have got the measures of variability, which has got range, it has got mean deviation, it has got standard deviation, it has got variance, skewness, kurtosis, quartile deviation, interquartile range, yeah, so coefficient of variation. So there are a lot of things out there which helps you to measure the variability of the data. So let's start off with a mean. That's the first measure of central tendency. Now, and this is, I took Smriti, Dr. Smriti as an example here. And Farida, there's somebody knocking and you need to open the door. Okay. So I took Smriti and as an example here, Dr. Smriti, and mean is basically your average. So she makes she is working with IGNOU and she needs to make calls to the students and find out that how the programs are going on. So we just took a random thing and we said that there you have got 20, 35, 15, 18, 32, 68. These are the total number of calls that she made. And so she made total 188 calls in 6 days. So on an average, she made how many calls? So she made a call of 31.33 calls a day. And the formula for mean is summation x by n. So this is how you calculate your mean. So it is x bar. X bar is a symbol for mean. And then this is big sigma, which is the sign of summation. That means you add everything. So it's summation x upon n. So you added everything here, so which came out to be 188. Your n is the number of observations that you have. So she made the calls on 6 days, so that her n becomes 6. And here the answer is that 31.33. So we can have the same, like you people can have examples from your own industry, your own field, and you can do that. You can find out that you can find out average, and average is something that we are doing it in and out every day, 10 times a day we are doing. The average speed of, somebody asks you that what's the average speed of your driving? Somebody asks you that what is the average number of hours that you spend on social media? What is the average number of calls that you make in a day? Somebody who's there in marketing, for you every month, the average sales is something that you people are working on. So you talk about the average number of sales that are there. So that there are different things, and you are using average day in and day out. So this is the formula that we use, which is x bar is equal to summation x upon n. Any issues with this formula? Any issues with this formula?
I think it is clear. I don't know about others.
It's clear.
Yeah, it's clear. Okay, right. This is a very basic one. Right. So let me just plug in. Okay. Now here we are having grouped data. Okay, let me just put in here. And so we are talking about grouped. We are talking about grouped data and ungrouped data. Now, what happens is ungrouped data is basically the raw. It's basically your raw data. So there is no classification of data in this case. But then what happens with grouped data is you are classifying the data, and there may be two ways of doing it. One is known as discrete series, and the other is continuous. So what we are doing is that if I take an example over here, let me take the example of Grace. Grace, I hope I have the permission of using you as an example. Grace, do I have the permission of using you as an example? Is Grace there? Am I audible?
I think you having network problem.
I have a network problem, or she has a network problem?
No, audible.
No, she.
Okay, she has a network problem. Okay, so let me use Mohammed. Mohammed, let me use you. I hope, Mohammed, it's fine with you.
No problem. No problem.
Okay, so I take Mohammed's case, and now here when I'm like he is doing it, say he is doing age compilation. So this becomes a discrete series. So he writes like if we have a table, like we are having a table of people, which is a wrong table that I chose. Okay, number of let me have it as 2, and let me have this as 10. All right. So I have age, and I have got number of people. So here I have said 21, 22, 23, 24. So we say that there are 120 people, 137, 345, 546, 43, 98, 110, 145, 187. All right. So these are the number of people that you have. So basically, if we are talking about the total, then what will happen is I have 120 people of this age group and so on and so forth. So I just do a total of this and I do. Now, why am I saying that this is a discrete? Because each age has got a specific number assigned to it. Now, what happens is that you like if I have large population size, if I have got a large set of population, then what I do is that I tend to go like this is my discrete, and then I go for a continuous, like when my if I've got a large data set. So now what I do, I again go for a table here. I go for 2 columns, and I go for 10 rows. Now what I do, I'm taking same age and I'm taking number of people, but then what I do is now I'm making a group. I say 0 to 10, 10 to 20, 20 to 30, 30 to 40. Now, what we are basically doing here is that we are covering a large group of people in this. So this is both of them are your grouped data, but the way of presentation is changing, right? So now what again, I've taken an example here that I have got, I took the example of IGNOU, and where you people are doing this course. And we have seen that, okay, in MBA, there are 20, there are 20 students in each section, and there are 4 sections, right? In BCA course, there are 35 students in each section, and there are 3 sections. In BBA, there are 100 students in one section, and there are 5 sections. So what we now need to do is we want to find out the total. So when we want to find out the total, we are basically multiplying your number of people in each class, in each section, by the number of sections, so that you can get total number of students. So if somebody asks you that how many students are enrolled in MBA, you say 80. How many students in BCA? You say 105. How many students in BBA? You say 500. Now, how did you get these? You just multiplied them. You took the product and you got it. And so the total comes out to be, that means IGNOU is having 685 students who are studying in 12 sections. There are 12 sections to it. So what is the average number of students per section? So the formula here for the mean comes out to be x bar is equal to summation fx upon summation f, which is 685 divided by 12, and which comes out to be 57.08. So this is an example of your grouped data. When the data is grouped, you use this formula. When the data is ungrouped, you use this formula, summation x by n. So now, any issues in this, in the grouped data thing? Any issues? Any issues so far?
No, ma'am.
Okay, all right. There are 9 more people who are... Okay, Vasant has joined with 2 things. Salihu Zengo. Hi, Salihu.
Yes, ma, I'm with you.
Yeah, how are you?
Fine.
And you are from which country, Salihu?
Nigeria.
And what are you doing?
Right
What's your
now,
profession?
I'm in the market.
Okay.
Business.
You are a business. You are doing business. All right. So fine.
Yes.
You are in the market. I won't bother you. There. Go ahead. Go ahead. Okay. Yeah. You can mute yourself. All right. Okay. So this is what technology has done for us. It enables us to take our classes wherever we are. All right. Farida, what do you do?
I'm in the hospitality industry.
All right.
I'm working. I'm a front office manager.
All right.
For a hotel in Mangoji. That's tourism destination. One of the tourism destination for Malawi.
Okay. All right. And it's a part, like how it's a country by itself.
I'm from Malawi. No,
you are from Malawi. Okay, you're from Malawi, but you're working somewhere else.
Yeah, I'm working in Mangochi, La Riviera Hotel. I'm the front office manager.
And you are a part of the team which gives a lot of feedback about the customer, how the customers react.
Yeah, I'm the one who reads the team.
Okay.
So we do the marketing and I also supervise the front office personnel.
Okay. So the data that you are getting, is it quantitative? Is it qualitative?
We usually do the phone calls as salespeople. So we work with primary data.
No, I was asking you that the feedback that you are getting from your customers, is that quantitative data or is that qualitative data?
Qualitative.
Yeah, qualitative most of the time. So
Yeah.
do you translate that into quantity? Do you translate that into quantity and then talk about it?
Yes, we do. Because when we get the raw data, we do classify it into if the people are for private from a private or from organizations. So it's either organization or private or government institutions. Um, our client. So once we classify them as such, then we go to the other part where we classify those individuals based on their income, because our product and services are ranged.
Okay.
So yeah, so we also classify our customers based on the financial aspect. Even if they are private, if it's private, are they from Malawi or from other countries? So all that. So from the primary data, we start now classifying all those into groups. So financial, where the people are coming from, if it organization or NGOs. Yeah.
And Farida, do you have a background in statistics before?
No, 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 no.
No? Okay.
No.
Okay, so who does the data crunching? Like after you people have collected the data and done all that, then who does the data crunching for you?
The hotel manager is the one who has statistic knowledge. So the other part is done by him.
Okay, all right. So now,
Yeah.
now you will, after this course, you will be in a position to help him out.
Of course, yes.
Okay, nice talking to you, Farida.
Thank you.
Right. So now, whatever you are getting, the data that you are getting on that, you always, generally what we do is, as I said, that basically your grouped data is your classified data. So the ungrouped data is the raw data or the heterogeneous. Now, if you're talking, like we took an average, of course, like in a classroom, if you're doing a numerical from a textbook, you are doing an assignment, it's okay, it's fine there, because that it's generally, it's not a real life situation that you are doing it. So you are not applying that result to something. So like I'll give you an example that where that how classification becomes important for us. Every country has got a per capita income, right? I suppose everybody is aware about per capita income, what per capita income is. Basically, the per head income that we are talking about, the per person income in a country. Now, when you're talking about the per capita income, it's an average of the total income of the country. So you have got the income of the entire country, and you divide it by the total number of people. So you divide it by the population of your country, and that is how you get your per capita income. Now, anybody, do you think that that per capita income, like the per capita income of your country, is a true representative of the economic status of your country? The per capita income that you have calculated, which is basically total income of the country divided by the total population of the country, is that income representative of the economic condition of your country?
No. In our case, no.
Why?
In any case,
Yeah, why,
uh,
Matumba?
the problem with this scenario is that when you take the amount of wealth that the country has and you divide by the number of people, which is not the case. Some people have more wealth than the others. And in any society, you always have those people. You have classes.
Right. Absolutely right. Absolutely correct. Absolutely bang on. Now, what Masumba is saying, like, if I talk about, again, I don't know about the billionaires of your country, so I can't comment on them. But if I'm talking about the billionaires from my country, I have got people like Ambanis, I've got people like the Adanis, the Tatas, the Birlas, the cricketers out here, the actors, the media people, the media houses. Now these people, there are like recently a report came out from India, which is talking about how the top 10% is having the 80% of the resources of the country. Now, when their income gets added to everybody's income, obviously the average goes up. Obviously, the average would go up. But now, if you're framing your policies on the basis of that, it becomes wrong. So that's the reason I was saying. I suppose Francis had asked me that question, that why, like, when heterogeneity works. Now, this is a heterogeneous data. The total income of the country is heterogeneous because you're talking of people who's a daily wage earner, and then you're talking about the billionaires of your country or the trillionaires of your country. Now, if you're keeping them in the same group, and then you're talking about the income, and if you're then generalizing it, and then you're framing a policy on that, that's insane. Because that's not making a lot of sense. So what you need to do is you need to classify them, and then what you do, you then talk about, okay, what's the lowest quartile of my country looking like? What is the lower 25% looking like? What is the upper 25% looking like? And then you frame your policies. Then that makes a lot of sense. So that is what we meant when we talked about that. So let me go back to my presentation. All right. So this is about the grouped data. Then we talk about median. I don't know whether, I suppose I've written a lot of things on one picture, but okay. Basically, what median means is median stands for middle. The word median stands for middle. That means that when I was talking about an average, I calculated a number around which all my other numbers are concentrated. Okay, around that number, all the other numbers are there. Then I talk about a median, where I'm just picking out the central number. That means I want one number which lies exactly in the middle of all my numbers, and I'm just picking out that middle number. So that's basically what a median is. Now, if you see here, there are, with my very bad drawing skills, I have drawn a few people out here. Now, if you look at the top level, you find these people of uneven heights. Here, you have got the shortest one in the middle, and then you've got somebody who's a bit taller there, and so on. Now, when I want to find out the middle one, what median says, what mathematical statistics taught me, was that I need to arrange my data. So what I do, they say that you arrange your data chronologically, either in the increasing order or in the decreasing order. So what I did, I took these 5 people here, and I arranged them height-wise in an increasing order. So that I started from the shortest one, and then I moved to the longest one. So then when I'm doing this is where this becomes my middle number here, because now I've arranged them, because that is what mathematical statistics has taught me. And now I applied it, and I made them stand according to their height. And then I say that, okay, this one is the middle one. So out of 5, I've got 2 on the right, and I've got 2 on the left. So that is median, basically what you're doing. So you're finding out the median height. Like in this case, you're finding out the median height. So basically, you're dividing your data into 2 equal parts. Okay. Now, my question is, let me ask this question to people from marketing. So my first question goes to, whom should I be asking? Somebody who is volunteering to answer? Is there somebody who's volunteering to answer? Or should I pick out a name? People, I want people from marketing, people who are doing marketing. Masumba, may I speak to you?
Yeah, shoot.
Okay, right. So Masumba, now tell me, do you apply median in your studies?
In my studies, yes.
Okay, tell
I
me
do.
where. Tell me where.
All right. Specifically in my studies, not in my work currently. So I've done a course in by the Chartered Institute of Marketing.
Okay.
I went up to a postgraduate diploma. So there we were also applying.
Okay.
This particular, yeah.
What area did you apply that in?
There's a part where you have to do research. Huh? Sometimes they give you case studies as well. So one of the case studies that we had gotten.
Okay. I understood. So you've done it academically. You've not used it actually. You've done it.
Yes.
You've done an academic exercise. Okay. All right. Masumba, which size of the shirt do you wear? I'm not gifting you a shirt, by the way. I'm just asking.
I thought so. Come on.
Yeah. What is your shirt size?
Extra large or 16.5 in your case in the sizes.
16 and extra large. Okay. Which size of shirts do you get the maximum in the stores? Which size has the maximum colors and
those
variety?
would be the smallest ones. Small and medium. You get plenty of those.
Medium. Yeah, medium. Why do you think that medium shirts have got so many? Because like I'm a fat lady and I see a lot of fat people around me, but whenever I go to the shops, I see all the dresses for the slim girls. So I always have an issue with the companies that, there are so many fat ladies like me, and why do you have all the slim ones? And there is a statistical answer to it. So what is it?
In terms of distribution, I don't know. For some reason, I would like to think that there are more people with smaller bodies. As you begin to go up, there are few of us.
Right. Okay, great. Right. Yeah. You got my point. Now the question is that this is a very good application of median. Now what the companies have done is, obviously every company who are manufacturing shirts, or for that matter, trousers, shoes, or anything, they know their sales numbers, like they know the exact sales numbers there. Now when they are knowing the exact sales number, they have found, like all over the world, you will find that medium M size of shirts, you get the maximum variety and the maximum color. And as you go down or as you go up, the range becomes smaller and smaller, right? The reason is that they have found out a median number there, a median size, on the basis of which they have divided the market into two equal parts. And that is the median number that you have. Similarly, you do that, you apply your median for income as well. You have a median income, you have a middle income, like you take the total income of the country, and then you find out a middle one, that okay, this is where my 50% of my population is above this income and 50% of my population is below this income. Now this helps you a lot in policy framing. Like in case of the shirt manufacturers, it helps them to understand that okay, this is what we need to manufacture the most. And because if they decrease the number of the options in middle, in M size, their sales goes down. So if people like him and me, we do not buy from that shop, it doesn't matter a lot because there are lesser people of our size. So they say that okay, you from like you can move from my company to another company, the percentage of people of our sizes are less, so it's okay. But people who are in that size, they are more. So that is where the application of median takes place in real life. I hope I made myself clear.
Yes, it's well understood.
Okay, great. Now there are similar this median is known as a situational average. Like I've written it here. It's known as a situational average. Situational means it is just telling you, it's like giving an address to a place that, okay, look, you go here and you'll find the middle one. You get the middle number over here. Similarly, you have things called quartile, deciles, and percentiles. Now, quartile, as the word comes, it comes from the word quarter. Quarter means 4. So quartile divides your entire thing into 4 parts, 4 equal parts. Kindly remember that whenever you're using any of the situational averages, you need to arrange your data either in increasing order or in decreasing order. I'm repeating myself. Whenever you are finding out median, quartile, decile, percentile, you always arrange your data either in increasing order or in decreasing order, right? Now, quartile, as I said, it's 4 parts. Decile comes from the word deca. Deca means 10. So in decile, you divide your observations into 10 equal parts. All the observations that you've got, you're dividing it into 10 equal parts. Percentile. Percentile comes from the word percent. Percent means 100, out of 100. So percentile is dividing your entire observations into 100 equal parts. So that is what you are doing in a percentile. And like percentiles are used a lot in your competitive exams. When students are giving their competitive exams, the results generally come out in percentile, that okay, these many say supposedly I've got 90 percentile, so that means there are 90% of the people, 90 people who are below me, and there are 10 people who are above me. So I'm standing on the 90th percentile there. So here, like the formula for median, this is again in case of an ungrouped data. So if you've got ungrouped data, your formula is n plus 1 by 2. N means the number of observations that you have. So in this case, you've got 5 observations. So that's 5 plus 1 by 2. The reason we are dividing it by 2 is because you're dividing into 2 equal parts. If it would have been quartile, then it would be n plus 1 by 4. If it would have been decile, it would be n plus 1 by 10. If it would be percentile, it would be n plus 1 by 100. So the numerator remains the same. The denominator changes as what you are trying to find out, like what are you trying to calculate, estimate. Okay. Now here we are talking about grouped data. So you have got grouped data here. And here, if you're wanting to find out your median, your formula changes a bit, like the formula remains the same rather, but how you look at it changes. Now here what is happening is you've got X, like this is the textbook exercise that he has done, and I make students do in my classrooms. So you have got your 2, 4, 6, 8, 10. This is your X. This is your frequency out here. And then you find out something called cumulative frequency. CS stands for cumulative frequency. Cumulate means to accumulate, to collect. So you are collecting your frequency. So what you do is you 5 plus 7, 12, plus 2, 14, plus 10, 24, plus 3, 27. So what you do, your total number of observations that you have got are 27. So you use the same formula, n plus 1 by 2. Now, this will give you the address of the median. That means where the median lies. So that's 27 plus 2 plus 1 by 2, that is 14. Now, what happens is this 14th thing, this we have to search in a cumulative frequency column. You won't get it. You do not have a 14 here. You do not have a 14 in your X. So what you do is you go and find it in your cumulative frequency. So of course, 14 is here. Now, what is the observation to which 14 belongs? 14 belongs to 6. So 6 becomes my median over here. 6 becomes my median over here. Is this formula clear to everybody?
Yes, ma'am.
Yes,
Okay,
ma'am.
thank you. Thank
Yes,
you.
ma'am.
Okay, thank you. All right. All right. So the formula has remained the same. The only thing that has changed is how you are looking at it. Now here we come to the continuous series thing. Now here we have got temperature. This is the temperature that is given. This is the frequency, that how many times we have reached this temperature. So the temperature is ranging between 0 to 10, 10 to 20 degrees, 20 to 30 degrees, 30 to 40, 40 to 50 degrees. And this is number of times this temperature has been hit. So we have got 5 times we have got 0 to 10, 10 times 20 to 20, 12 times 20 to 30, 8 times 30 to 40, and 6 times 40 to 50. So again, we do the same thing. We find out the cumulative frequency first. So we have already learned how to calculate the cumulative frequency. Now here, if I want, in such a case, if I now want to find out median, I have to do 2 stages for it. There are 2 stages for it. Step 1 or stage 1 requires me to identify the class or that group of temperature, that range of temperature where the median will lie. So the first stage is to find the median class. So what I do to find the median class, I have a formula which says n by 2. N stands for the total number, your total number of observations, or you can say summation f, that is your total frequency. So I've written here n is equal to summation f. So you have got m is equal to n by 2. So that's 41 by 2, which comes out to be 20.5. Now what we do here is we go and find this 20.5 in our cumulative frequency. Now, of course, 5 doesn't include 20.5, 15 doesn't include 20.5, but 27 includes 20.5. So then I get my median class. That means I get the range of temperature where my median will lie. So that range is 20 to 30. So I then use this formula, which I have put in a rectangle, or in a box. I have put in my formula here, which says L1 plus n by 2 minus CF upon F into I. So basically, what is L1? L1 is the lower limit of the median class, which is 20. So here comes 20. N by 2, I have already calculated here my n by 2, which was 20.5. So I keep it as it is. Then I say cumulative frequency. Now, what is the cumulative? What does CF stands for? It stands for the cumulative frequency of the class before the median class. So my median class is 20 to 30. The class preceding it is 10 to 20. What is the cumulative frequency? 15. So I take 15 over here. And then I divide it by the frequency of the median class. So what's the frequency of the median class? It's 12. So I place my 12, and then I multiply it with class interval, with I. I stands for class interval, which is basically the difference between your upper limit and the lower limit. So the upper limit is 30, the lower limit is 20. So I multiply it by 10, I solve it, and my answer comes out to be 24. So my median temperature is 24. That means if I want to divide the temperature, if I want to divide the temperature into 2 equal parts, so this is how I do it. So it's I have got half of my observations. That means out of 41, half my observations are below 24 degrees and half my observations are above 24 degrees. Is this calculation clear?
Very clear.
Very clear. Okay. That means I'm an excellent teacher, or I'm a very boring teacher who's teaching nothing. I don't know. Like, either I am teaching too good or I'm teaching too bad.
No, it's good, man. It's really good. Thank you.
Okay.
It's very interesting.
It's very interesting. Okay. Usman.
Ma'am, I joined.
Yes.
I joined after your introduction. Are you a professor of statistics or mathematics?
Yes. I am a professor of statistics. I'm basically a professor of economics, and I teach statistics. I teach a lot of statistics and a lot of research methodology.
Okay.
Yeah. So, all right. Fine. So let's move ahead. We still have a few more minutes to go, so we can move ahead. Now, all right. Now, the question is that when do I use mean and when do I use a median? All right. We have studied, so far we have studied two measures of central tendency. That means mean is also giving me a number which is somewhere in the middle, and median is giving me the exact middle. Now, which one to use and when to use? Now, most of the times, whenever you people are applying it, wherever you are applying it, you are generally using mean because that's the average. So average number of customers coming to your hotel, average number of sales happening, average number of people buying your car, average number of people buying your product, average number of people filling your questionnaire, average number of people using the banks, average number of people going to school, average number of, so it is more of the average that we are using. Median, it's a situational one. So if I want to do a study where the location of that, and when I use the word location, I'm not meaning the geographical location. The place where that division is taking place into two equal parts, where that is more important, I use the median. Now the question is that when do I do that? As a statistician or as a person who does a bit of data, like data analysis, I would say that it's always better to use mean than median, because mean helps you in doing a lot of other calculations which median does not. So mean is a better measure anytime. But the issue with mean is that mean takes into consideration all the observations, and the actual value of the observation matters. So if you are talking about when you say average sales, that means you have taken the sales that has taken place on 25 days out of 30 in a month, and you then calculate. So each day's sale matters. Now, if say supposedly I'm running a grocery store, or I'm running a restaurant, there are always peak days and then there are always those slump days. So on peak days, your sales will peak. So if somebody asks you that, okay, like if I want to ask Farida, Farida, in a month, do you have any peak days or peak week, or every week is the same? Farida, I hope you can hear me.
Yeah, I can hear you. Sorry. Yeah. Not every week is the same. We do have our peak days or peak weeks or peak season or peak month.
Are the weekends better than the weekdays?
Usually, the peak days are within the week.
Okay.
Within the week, because we usually have people working for these organizations or government conferences and all that. Yes, yes.
Officials.
So
all right.
within the week are the days which are our peak days, than the weekend.
Okay, so now when that means you people are on toes from Monday to Friday, Saturday, Sunday, people are a bit relaxed.
Yes, yes.
Okay, now now, okay, great. Thank you, Farida. Now, from where did she come to know that Monday to Friday are her peak days and Saturday, Sunday are not so peak? Because she has got the exact number of customers coming on Monday, Tuesday, Wednesday, Thursday, Friday, Saturday, Sunday. So she has got the exact numbers. So that is where she has got the exact average coming out to be. So there, your mean becomes much more important over there. But the problem with mean is that because it includes all the observations, so there is also a problem called the problem of outlier. So you see here, you see a word called outlier. Outlier are basically the extreme values that you are there. So while we were talking about per capita income, and we were talking about it, so we said like what Chipul Mutsu talked about, and what I spoke about, that you have got people who have got the highest number of like who are in the upper echelons, and they are earning more, and then you've got the people who are at the bottom down there who are earning very less. And if you're because we took both their income, so the average that we got was not the right average. So the problem of outlier is there in mean. The problem of outlier comes in mean, which is not there in median. But median is always it's just a locational thing. It's just a situational thing. So in most of the cases we use mean. In certain cases we use medians. I gave you the example of shirts. So in the case of shirts, is the median which they are using. They are not using average. Yeah, they reached that median. Like, why did they use that median? Because they got to see that what size of shirts people were generally picking up. So yes, the median is used there, but generally we don't use a lot of these situational averages. We use, so as I said, that median, it's more of a situational. There are no outliers, because what happens, what happens in the case of median is that it does not get affected by the outlier, because you have just arranged your data, and you are picking out the data, the middle one. You are dividing it into 4 equal parts, and you're picking up the first, second, and the third division, and you're picking up that. So the actual figure is not mattering to you. The actual thing is what the actual number is, that doesn't matter. So that might say you have asked people to stand according to their height, or you have asked people to stand according to their weights. So they are doing that, and for you, the tallest person doesn't matter to you. The height of the tallest person doesn't matter. The height of the smallest person doesn't matter. The only thing is you are looking at the middle person, that okay, this person is dividing the group into 2 parts. So the actual number, the actual value of that observation is of no consequence. Whereas in case of mean, that is of consequence. So that's the reason that median is not getting affected by outliers, whereas the mean is getting affected by the outliers, right? So yeah, that is where it is. And then we come to mode, which is the final measure of central tendency. So mode is again a situational one. It's again a situational average. And basically what mode does, it's represented by Z. The symbol that you use for mode is Z. And it basically tells you the highest frequency. So like if you look here, then I have got 132, 134, 336, 238s, and then I've got 5 40s. So that means 40 becomes my mode, because that is the most number of times it's happening. And then you've got the grouped data. So for the grouped data, we use this big formula over here, and we calculated. Excel does it for you. In Excel there is a function called mode, and you just do that and you get the answer in a second. You get the answer. But of course, for your exams here, you won't be using Excel. You'll be doing it by your hand. So you need to use this big formula, and you need to solve that. So with that, I'm stopping my class here. I won't go into dispersion today. We'll start the dispersion tomorrow, because we've got a class tomorrow as well. We've got 2 classes tomorrow, in fact, I suppose. So we will be doing that. Please come out with your questions, your suggestions, your comments. Whatever you people are wanting to know, any add-ons. You want me to change my style of teaching? You want me to change my content? Kindly let me know so that I can prepare myself before the class tomorrow.
To me, everything
Yeah,
seems
so
fine.
good, ma'am. So good. Thank you.
Okay. So Vasant, I can come and teach in your country.
Yeah, sure. I think we need people like you here in the university.
Yeah, just
It'll be a
marketing
privilege
myself.
for us. Thank you.
Just marketing myself, Vasant.
Yeah, sure. I'll take this further.
Right. So, but it's lovely for me. Yes, Muhammad, you want to say something? Kindly go ahead.
Do you do free consultations for your students?
Free consultations. I'm a student of economics and I'm a teacher of economics. I understand money.
Okay, ma'am.
No, you're most welcome. I'm there on LinkedIn. You can connect via LinkedIn to me. I am there on LinkedIn. You can find me. Just type in my name and type in my institution's name, and you'll find me. And you can get in touch, and we can always talk, and we can see if we can I can be of any help to you.
Okay, thank you very much, ma'am.
Bless you. Any other questions? Any other things you people want? Or we can stop the class here and we can have a class tomorrow.
Yes, thank you.
Okay. Innocent, thank you. Innocent, I've got 2 students by the name of Innocent. One is from Zambia.
I'm Innocent Bora from Congo, DRC.
Okay, you're from Congo. No, I'm saying that I already have in my university, I've got a student. One is from Zambia, the other one is from Ghana. Okay, yeah, Isa, you want to say something?
No, thank you, ma'am. It's a
Right,
wonderful session. Really enjoyed.
Okay, bless you for saying that. Thank you. Okay, fine. So I'm stopping the recording, and I am also closing the class. Yes, anybody wants to say?